The Two of Us in the Ocean. Written by Little Shrimpo. Read by Arashi. Mari watched as everyone continued to enjoy themselves. Even though she was told by Riko that they could stay together at all times, she was somewhat sociable with a few of them. All she could do was really stand there and watch, at least a little grateful that this opportunity presented itself to her. Needless to say, a particular girl caught her attention through it. She glanced to the side, eyes caught on the gorgeous blue-haired girl with the ponytail. If I recall, her name is Matsuda Kanan. She's extroverted, bubbly, and a little mysterious. She knows how to look up without paying a glance down. She's so confident that she's almost shiny. I pale in comparison to someone like that. I've heard a lot of things about her that sees Uchiura's recycling queen. She's helpful and fixes certain things for the citizens of Numazu. Though, right now, she almost looks content. Would it be rude of me to go towards her? Would I be intruding? Mari watched timidly, debating whether or not she should approach her. It seemed that everyone else was busy, and perhaps she'd like some company. I do have to meet other people and create connections. I don't think she'd dislike my company at all. Or what if she silently does? It's so hard to decide. Taking a deep breath, she decided that it'd be best to spend some time with her regardless of her anxiety. That's the whole thing about coming out of your shell. You go beyond what limits your boundaries, and you do it confidently. I'm sure that's what Yohane would want me to do. Mari took the first step forward and went onto the sand. She walked towards the girl in question, and she instantly turned to look at her. Mari set aside her anxiety and worries and smiled softly. Matsuda-san, right? Just call me Kanan. Kanan returned with a smile, and Mari was charmed. She doesn't seem hostile. It seems that I really had nothing to worry about, although she seems a little too comfortable with honorifics. Then, Kanan, she spoke hesitantly, but knew that the girl didn't mind. What are you doing here all by yourself? She walked to her side, seeing Kanan's attention turn to the sea. She followed her gaze and silently admired the view in front of both of them. Doesn't the ocean look beautiful? She already knew how to answer the question. It was nice, although the look of passion in her eyes made her rethink things for the better. To say I love the ocean would be a lie, but I want to see it in a way that Kanan does. She stood there and became one with nature as she stared forward. She watched as the waves danced, frolicking about as favored the familiar sound going through her ears. To be there defined serenity. It wasn't always that she stood in place and listened to the calming waves of nature. It really is. Her voice trailed off, distracted by the peacefulness she felt. It's not always when I stop to admire nature's beauty. I'm always working in the ocean, so I've grown pretty attached to it. Mari turned to see Kanan's relaxing expression. Is that so? She murmured. She didn't mean to put any credence among the two of them, but she wasn't too keen on the idea. The ocean may have been something special to Kanan, but to me, it's no such thing. Even if I live surrounded by the ocean, I've always seen it as a curse, so I haven't been able to connect with it emotionally. As if she soured the mood, she cowered away, head hung down. I'm also unsociable. You think it's a curse because you have no happy memories of it. Kanan, as bright as ever, turned with another smile. Mari feared she may have ruined the mood, but that wasn't the case. She turned, a little shocked at her response. That's exactly it, isn't it? She was too timid to even answer her, but Kanan was already one step ahead. Kanan turned to face her, and gently grabbed both of her hands. Mari was shocked. Huh? We'll just have to create some for you, right? Instantly, she was brought forward as Kanan lightly dragged her towards the bank. Hold on! She was too preoccupied with the surprise intertwine of their hands to pay attention to where she was bringing her, although it was pretty much answered right away. Kanan urged her closer as the two of them made contact with the water. She winced at the sudden coldness, but the warmth of the sand brought her relief almost right away. She timidly looked up to see Kanan looking back at her, beautifully. She was charmed at the beginning, but now she realized just how gorgeous she was up close. Um, I, I, I... She fumbled around with her words and looked side to side, unable to look her in the eyes. Her face felt abnormally hot. Relax, you'll get used to the water. Mari snuck a peek at the girl, and she had such a gentle expression. Something about it caused her shoulders to relax, and she began to trust in her word. Slowly, she looked down to their hands, then to her feet submerged in the water. It was somehow all right. You were right. She bashfully turned to look at the rest of the ocean, spotting the evening horizon making its way through the sky. It was nearly dreamy, a daydream of the sort. Being there, indulging in these entrancing sights. It's beautiful, isn't it? She gazed at Kanan, timidly agreeing. It's beautiful, isn't it? She glanced at Kanan, timidly agreeing. Of course it is. It's always been beautiful. Kanan cheekily smiled at her, letting go of their hands. Mari didn't realize just how long they stood there with their hands held, but this wasn't the time to act all shy. Though, somehow, she already missed the warmth it brought her. Take this! Kanan used the hem of her hand to splash water onto her. She shuddered at the coldness. That was so sudden! Again, she splashed more onto her. Mari, now feeling a little vengeful, leaned down to wisp water right at her. It was a perfect hit, but Kanan wasn't done yet. She went deeper into the ocean, nearly waist up, and Mari couldn't help but follow her. Something was so alluring about her, something that made her want to follow. It didn't matter whether or not her clothes would get wet. She just wanted to cherish this feeling while she could. And so, she followed her without a worry in the world. They began to splash water at each other again, Mari smiling brightly for the first time since she got there. Kanan had such a warm expression, but she believed that her own made hers pale in comparison. The ocean isn't so bad, is it? Kanan halted her actions and stood there, absolutely drenched. Mari smiled. You're right. It really isn't. At least with the two of us, it made me happy. I hope to get to know you better while we're here, because somehow it always felt all right with you around.